The ancients had nuclear weapons in Santorini and Crete, according to strange indications, but we also had them in India, also around Mohenjo-Daro. There are others that say that they have found special glass that indicates this here, for example, the green yellowish glass that has been blasted at tremendous temperatures that can only be reached by atomic energy, nuclear energy. Glass like this has been found in Crete, Santorini, also in areas of northern Africa, in the Sahara. So what was going on? They had nuclear weapons, and ancient Santorini and Crete, according to strange indications. Let's remember that the palace in Knossos in Heraklion, Crete, the ancient Minoan palace there, has been found with a throne room that was lined with, it was like a panic room that was lined with lead. So why would they line it with lead unless they knew that somebody could be using this type of energy against them? This is the throne room, and behind that throne, that room was lined with lead. So it was like a panic room lined with lead that the ancient Minoans had. The ancient Minoans who had their DNA found in the Native Americans there on the Great Lakes of Canada and the United States. But here, concerning ancient Santorini and Crete, Apollonius of Rhodes in the Argonauts, 298-299 writes, "Then the Harpies and Iris separated, and they went to their caves in Crete of Minos." Comment Mr. Dariva says, "This is what is being interpreted today. The UFOs went to Tsutsuros in Crete. This cave for some reason radiates a lot. This is an indisputable fact. Now there are rumors that 4 UFOs were found there which were sold to the Americans. These are rumors and I can deal with Tsutsuros again," he said. I'll talk about that later. He says, a few months ago a discovery was made in the palace of Knossos of Heraklion, Crete, that the archaeologists literally fell from the clouds. The discovery was made in the palace's storage rooms, which are located behind the throne room on the east side of the palace. So studying the storage rooms, which were characterized by Sir Arthur Evans as warehouses 100 years ago, they studied the material that the cases were made of on the floor. To the great surprise, they saw that the material of the containers, quote unquote, in the warehouses was made of lead. Lead is, and its derivatives are now used to protect against dangerous radiation, gamma rays, and radioactive materials, etc. Lead was and is hard to find in nature in relation to copper, which was widely used in those years to make utensils resistant to corrosion and used in warehouses. So what would the lead containers be used for storing materials if materials were not irradiated or radioactive? Just the thought that the Minoans knew about radioactive materials and their properties 3,500 to 4,000 years ago caused a storm of debate. New theories have emerged on various topics, which until a few years ago would have sounded crazy to most. For example, they claim that the Minoan civilization and Santorini were destroyed by nuclear bombs. Specifically, there's an opinion which, although it seems unbelievable, there's evidence to support this opinion, and I will write them below. He says that Santorini, in addition to a port, also had a nuclear reactor that exploded either by accident or by sabotage. Is this nuclear eruption what was the cause of the volcano to reignite? However, bombs may have also fallen in Crete, and the destruction of the Minoan civilization occurred in antiquity. So, does that sound crazy? Now, green vitrified rocks that have been found in Santorini, which means a momentary increase in temperatures over 1,000 degrees centigrade, which is by no means volcanic, as the temperature of the hot volcanic magma does not reach these values. Such vitreous rocks formed in the first nuclear tests conducted by the Americans in New Mexico on desert sand. The high temperature that developed when the atomic bomb exploded turned the sand silicon into green glass. Coming now to Crete, there are human traces that have been found on slabs in various parts of southern Crete on beaches and that have a direction all towards the sea. So what does that mean? For some reason, the people on the south coast ran to the sea to escape something. The traces left in the sand before they could be erased by the waves solidified as the wet sand solidified. Geologists and experts in these materials have concluded that this petrification of sand can only come from a nuclear explosion because only it reaches such high temperatures. And because I have no space to close the issue quickly, he says, the Cretans knew that they could be attacked with nuclear bombs, so they built the labyrinth for shelter, called Daedalus, the one who was the most expert, and the catastrophe came after that. That is, they reached out and built the labyrinth, and in Santirini, as in Crete, glazed green rocks have been found, as here in the photo. This is by Darivas Katerini Search Magazine. I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.